Hello everyone and welcome to Monday, September 30th. It's been a few weeks since our Disney trip ended, which is crazy that it came and went and has been gone just so quickly. But in the interim since then, we haven't vlogged at all because I've been working on editing vlogs. I've spent pretty much every moment that I'm not at work or at the gym or sleeping editing the vlogs. I've done 4 so far, and I still have like 5 left, I think, something like that. And then I think 5 days, 5 actual park days, and then the day we come back and then we did like a Disney haul and stuff. Everything that we got in Disney World, which is the last vlog that was released before this one. So, but it's September 30th now. It's the end of September. Tomorrow is the beginning of a new chapter of our lives, but you know, my professional life, I guess, specifically. I've mentioned this several times. I mentioned it before we went to the cruise, before we went to Disney. I mentioned a few times that my job is moving. And today was my last day at the photo studio. So if you don't know, for whatever reason, I work for a company called Wayfair in Massachusetts. And I am a retoucher, compositor. I do Photoshop all day. I do things like I turn... Every day I do this. I turn this into this, or this into this. And I do that like 5 to 10 times a day, depending on how hard the images are. And I work in a photo studio, or at least I have. I began working at Wayfair in 2015, and that's the reason that I moved up here in Massachusetts, also to be with Giselle. She was working here for a little bit as well, and we moved in together, and I started working at the old photo studio. And that's also, like, we started vlogging at the beginning of 2016, so if you've been here for a long time, then you'll have seen our old apartment, us living near the old photo studio, me going to the old photo studio every day, and then moving from there to the newer photo studio, and we kind of combined with me and the other retoucher that were at the other photo studio, combined with the new photo studio's retouchers, and we became this one big happy department. In the much bigger like warehouse photo studio that I've been working in for the past like 2.5 years or so, and that has changed now. Earlier this year they told us that they needed us to be in the main Boston office with everybody else that works there. All the photo studio turned from like having a bunch of full-time photographers and stylists and whatever to having a lot of freelancers come in for projects. It was by project, so they would hire photographers and stylists to come in for the project, and those would be helmed by the full-time art directors. And then the photographers that we already had and the stylists that we already had moved over to the Boston office as well and became 3D artists and 3D stylists and stuff, and they learned the 3D programs that they use, because that's the way this kind of photography is going now. It's unavoidable. It's like less expensive, and it's just the future to go to 3D photography. So that's where the company is headed, and so they needed us there as well in the main building in Boston, where like 7,000, 8,000 something people work. And so that's what we're doing tomorrow. That's our first day. We did a little trial run a few days before we went to Disney. I vlogged that a little tiny bit and talked about it a little tiny bit, just to kind of see how the commute would be. I did my commute for the first time. I wasn't super happy about the whole situation when it was first told to us, because the photo studio is it's like 12 minutes away from here. Giselle's work is on the bookstore, like it's on the way. I drop her off every morning at the same time, then I go straight to my the photo studio, like 6 minutes away from her work down the street, and then I pick her up on my way back, and we head home together, and it's the perfect setup for us. And now my commute is changing from that to me having to get on a train every day for an hour there, and then an hour back at the end of the day. So that's not great, but there's a lot of good things about it too. There's a lot of really good opportunities that we're going to be having before us and whatnot, that they're going to be giving to us. I'm going to have the opportunity to learn these 3D programs very pretty in depth, and some other new programs. The program is called 3ds Max, and there's a program called Nuke that's this really cool 3D compositing software that is it'll be really cool for it's like Photoshop, but way more advanced. And yeah, it's just, I've been doing the same thing pretty much since I got to Wayfair for the past, 4 years. My 4-year anniversary at Wayfair was one of the days we were in Disney. And I've been there for 4 years, and it's been pretty much the same thing, just like getting better and better and better at Photoshop over time. And I can do it very well now and do very good compositing now with that. We're going to be able to take our abilities to the next level, basically. We're going to be, a lot of what the team that I'm on, the retouchers, the compositors, we're now going to be called post-production specialists. That's our new title. And we're just post-production. Like, we do post-production. We might do post-production video at some point, which would be really cool. Because that makes sense. If they shoot any videos or do any video stuff, it makes sense to go to the post-production team. So we might be able to do video editing at some point, actually at work, which would be really cool. I feel like I know that pretty well as well. But we're going to be learning all this 3D stuff. Our team is going to be combining the 3D and the 2D, because the photo studio is still going to be open and doing its like freelance thing with like the freelancers coming in, working on the projects, and the photo studio is still open, but we're just not going to be there anymore. So we're going to be combining 3D with 2D. We're going to be learning all these new programs. We're going to be doing all this great stuff, and it's cool, and it's going to look really good for whatever future thing I decide to do down the line. I plan on staying where I am for a while. Giselle and I plan on staying here for a while. Giselle and I plan on having, what we have here for a while. And we have like plans for the next few years, and that includes me staying at Wayfair. So yeah, it is what it is. So that's where my job is going. We're going to Boston, and it starts tomorrow. I've kind of been practicing the getting up early thing. I have to get up at 5 a.m. every morning, and because I want to go to the gym every morning. In order to make the train, I have to get up at 5 a.m. every morning, go to the gym, and we have to get out of this place. We have to get out of here by like 7:30 and get over to the train station. Giselle's going to drop me off, and then she'll probably come back for a little while and hang out, and then go to work when she needs to at 9. And the train, like I said, it's about an hour, so I'll get there a little bit earlier than I usually would. Going to the photo studio, I'll get there a little bit before 9, like 9:40, 9:50, something like that. And yeah, I'm going to use it as an opportunity to read a lot. I was kind of upset about the idea of like using up 2 hours of my day every single day. It's like, it just feels like such a waste of life. But I haven't really been giving myself that much time to read recently, so I'm going to use those 2 hours as a dedicated reading time every single day. I'm going to do nothing but read on the train, and I'm going to get through a bunch of books, which I need to do because we have so many books and so many things I want to read. I just haven't been, because I haven't been giving myself the time to, so I'm actually really excited about that. Now, we do have a lot of books already, but today, this just went on the bestseller list. I don't know if it went on today, but it did just go on the bestseller list recently. It came out a few weeks ago. It came out, I think, while we were at Disney World. It's The Institute by Stephen King. This just came out, like I said, and I'm going to start reading it tomorrow. Actually, I started reading it a little bit. I read a few pages, but I am going to really get into it tomorrow. So I did just buy a new book to read on the train, but I am, after this, gonna go to the books that we already have and read those. But yeah, today was interesting. We went to the photo studio for the last time. We had like a half day. I'm home early, by the way. I didn't mention that. I got out of work around noon. We all went out to lunch this morning. We went in. We all packed up our stuff. I packed up everything on my desk, everything in my desk. I just had like a bunch of random stuff. I had some stuff that was like decorating my desk and stuff. We cleared off our computers, turned them off for the last time, and we all left for the last time. All left our little room. We had our room to ourselves. We will no longer have a room to ourselves. We will be in a little pod of desks together, but we'll no longer have the room to ourselves. And yeah, and then we all went out to lunch, which was nice, and I got a really good lunch. It was really, really tasty. And then I went and hung out with Giselle for a little bit and bought this book, and then came back home. And I had to pick her up in like an hour and a half or so. That's that. I'll talk more about it tomorrow after the first day. Maybe I'll take you with me, and we'll see how catching the train goes. Hopefully it goes well. You know what happened the last time, the trial run. I almost missed the train. I came this close to missing it. The only reason I didn't was because it was late. And I'll see how tomorrow goes, and I'll let you know how I feel about it. And we'll see how the next few weeks go. Because I think after a few weeks and a few months and like a bit of time, it'll become just normal. And it'll become routine, and it'll probably be less of a thing, but right now it feels like a really big life change, and we'll see how it goes. Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday, the beginning of a new chapter. I'm about to head off to the train station. Giselle's going to drop me off. I did get up this morning and go to the gym. I got up pretty well, I think, and got out pretty quickly, and got to the gym and did my workout pretty well. And then I got home at like 6:50, which is pretty good. I had like 30 to 40 minutes to get ready, and now we're going to be leaving in the next 5 minutes or so. And I'm going to just get on the train and try to read nonstop. How are you feeling this morning?
My hair's not done. I feel weird. And my makeup's not done. I'm not put together yet, but I have to wear clothes in order to go take Christopher, so.
Well, she can come back and finish before she has to leave for work.
Yeah, and I haven't eaten breakfast yet either, so I need to do that. But, yeah, Christopher's pretty bummed out.
It's okay. I'll get over it. You have to get used to it. That's all.
To cheer him up, I'm reminding him of all the other crappy days we've had in our lives. It could be a lot worse.
I told her that this was the worst day ever because I have to take a train into Boston. But it's fine. I'm being dramatic, but it's fine. It's whatever. I actually do like waking up really early. Like, after the initial wake up, I hate waking up. That's the worst. I'm not a morning person. I hate waking up. But after I wake up, eat, and go to the gym and stuff, like, I feel generally pretty okay. But I'm wearing my new Spirit jersey hoodie thing with Disney World on the back. You can't really see it. But I'm also wearing my new Mickey hat. Being very Disney. Giselle's wearing her lovely new Mickey shirt as well.
I am.
You like waking up this early too, right?
I do. I mean, it's pretty normal for me. I did this for all of high school. I woke up between 4 and 5 in the morning every day, so, like, I just feel like I'm in high school again. Loving it.
I feel like I'm going to a new school. Like, a few weeks ago, before Disney, that was the orientation, and now this is the real thing. We're going to a new school, and it's a new start, and it really feels like that. It feels like, because it's basically like a campus. Like, it's single tower in a building, but there's so many people, it feels like going to a new school. I think I might take the camera with me and, like, just kind of, I might show you, like, my new office setup, my new desk setup and whatnot, because I'm getting new everything, new computer, new tablet, new monitors, new everything. So maybe I'll just, like, give you a quick glance at that, and maybe a quick glance, like, out the windows, like our view that we're gonna have, which is really cool, and maybe a little bit on the way there too. It is genuinely huge. It's almost as big as the screen. Well, I've given it a week now, basically, at work. It's Sunday now. I was going to vlog yesterday, but I ended up not doing so. But I wanted to tell you about what my week has been like in the new workplace that I'm in. I did show you a little bit a second ago. That was the first day. When we got there, the first day on Tuesday, we set up our computers. We had to go down to the IT desk and, like, sign them out and get them back up to our desks and set up the monitors and just set up the desks entirely. I set up my desk with some extra stuff. I got, like, a cool Mickey clock that I showed in the haul video we did that I put on my desk, and I put a little Sorcerer Mickey that I had on my desk because I have a few little Sorcerer Mickeys like that. And I kind of showed you, I didn't show you, like, what the office looks like because I don't know if I'm technically allowed to film in there, but I thought just, like, a quick pan from what my view is outside the window, except the blinds are usually closed. But when you walk around the office, like the whole floor, you can see all the windows and stuff. But that's a general view, and then kind of like panning over to where my desk is and what my desk like looks like at the current moment. I thought that would be fine. But overall, it was an okay week. I mean, it's hard to say. I think I'll have to update you on how I feel about this whole thing. Sorry, there was like something on the lens. I think I'll have to update you about this a little bit more. Maybe in a few more weeks of doing it. I don't know. It's just hard to it still feels like really new, so it's still like just like the kind of new interesting thing that I'm doing right now. So like I don't know. I feel like especially when it starts to become even more cold outside. This past week has been pretty cold. The past few days especially have been freezing, and today is no exception. But it is supposed to get warmer this week. But when it starts getting really cold in the winter and stuff, I'll definitely let you know how I feel about the whole thing, because there are times when I'm going to have to be standing there waiting for the train in the cold, and I'm not looking forward to that at all. And luckily there's not too much time, probably like in between me getting out of the car, getting dropped off in the morning with Giselle, to getting on the train, / me leaving the office and having to go down to the train station and waiting there. As long as I time it right, then I won't have to wait for too long. But I also need to make sure I get there early enough, especially in the afternoon. I mean, early enough to that train station leaving Boston to get a seat, because I hate standing. I absolutely do not want to stand no matter what, and I don't want to be squished in between a bunch of people. So if I could get on there and get a decent seat, that would be great too. The train ride has been very strange. The first train ride literally felt like it was 4 days long. It felt so long. It felt like it just went on and on and on. And I was reading the whole time, and I was enjoying that part of it, but by the time I got off, I was like, how am I going to go to work for 8 hours now? This is crazy. But the train ride back home actually felt pretty short, which is better. It is more of an express train, so it is technically shorter. They skip some stops. That's just how they do it in the evening time, is they'll do a train that like goes to certain stops and skips the other ones, and then goes to the ones that they did skip, the next train or whatever. So anyway, it's been okay. Like, I do like the office itself somewhat. I much prefer us having our own room like we did at the studio. I really wish we still had our own room and it was like nice, quiet, private space for us, and I wasn't sharing like a little row of desks with people. I wish I was just on my own little solitary desk in the corner like I was before. But I mean, it is what it is, and I'm trying to make the best of it. I'm trying to be positive about it, and it's fine. I like the new computer, working on PCs now. Or everyone that I work with, the retouching department, the post-production department, is used to Macs, and we used Macs at the studio. We had Mac desktop computers, like they like look like little trash cans basically, and they all love Macs, and I don't like Macs. I much prefer PCs, but none of them have really any experience. And so the first day especially, and a couple of the days after that, I was like kind of the resident IT advisor for some of the others in the post-production department, because they weren't exactly sure what to do with certain things. And that was funny, but I was glad to be helpful in some way. But and I felt pretty good setting the things up, except the computers are Dells, which I do not like. I hate Dells. I've always hated Dells. I've gone through so many Dells in my life, and they're just bad. They're bad computers completely. I hate them. They're not good. Case in point, a couple of our computers, even though they're brand new, they were bought for us and put together for us, and like brand new, completely brand new. A bunch of us, including me, have gotten already the black screen of death. Some of us a couple of times, and it's ridiculous. That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway, it's been interesting, and I will keep you updated on how I feel about it. I did, actually, something cool, is I read all of The Institute. I took the dust jacket off for the train because I didn't want it to get messed up in my backpack or anything. So I'll put that back on now because I finished it. I didn't finish it completely this week. I definitely would have gotten closer to finishing it if I had all 5 days, but since Monday was at the studio, I missed out on that day of reading. So I did end up finishing it yesterday. I read a bunch Friday night when I got home and some yesterday. And I basically ended up reading about 400 pages over the 4 days that I went to work. So I read about 100 pages a day, which I guess is about 50 pages each way, which is pretty good. And I feel like I've definitely gotten slower at reading over time, and I'm hoping to get faster now that I'm going to be reading every single day on the train. And I really liked this book a lot. It was really good. Stephen King has been doing really good with The Outsider last year and then The Institute this year. Really excited for his book next year. They just released a cover for that, which I'm pretty stoked on. I think they said it was novellas actually, which I didn't realize, but it's 4 novellas, which I'm always into. I love those when he does them. The Institute though was fantastic. One of the best endings he's had in a while. One of the best concepts and just executions of the concept all the way through. if you know what I mean. Like sometimes he can kind of fall off, and like the concept is really good and really fun and really interesting to read about, but then it kind of like fizzles out, like how he resolves it. But I feel like he did a great job doing it in this book. He did a great job with The Outsider as well. And like I was not a fan of the Bill Hodges trilogy that started with Mr. Mercedes. They're okay, but I'm just not a fan of the way he wrote those at all. Probably the most disappointed I've been in his books, but this one was fantastic, and I really liked it a lot. I don't know if it's 5 stars, maybe like 4.5-ish. I don't know. It's hard to... I'm not really thinking in stars right now. I don't know. I just really liked it. That's all I can say, is I really did enjoy reading it, and I read it pretty quickly, and I was always excited to pick it up again. That was one thing that it made the train ride better, and it made thinking about the train ride better, because like, oh, I'm about to get on the train, but that means I can keep reading The Institute, and that made me really excited. I don't know what I'm going to read next. I'll probably figure that out tonight before I, while I like put my lunch together for tomorrow and get ready for tomorrow. Definitely before tomorrow morning. I should definitely choose something to bring with me. I might bring a couple things just in case, because I knew for a fact I wanted to read that, but now I'm not sure what I want to read, so I might bring a couple of things with me in my backpack and see what I feel like. So hopefully it wasn't just The Institute that like made me excited about reading on the train, and now that I'm moving on to something else, I'll be just as excited to read it and have just as easy of a time reading it as I did The Institute on the train. But I did get a little bit of a headache sometimes reading on the train. I've never been able to read in cars, and I was a little bit worried about that for the train, but I just kind of ignore it. And as long as I have a little bit of water and drink a little bit of water, I tend to feel okay. But like I said, I'll keep letting you know how this whole working in Boston thing works for me. And we'll see how it goes. How has this week been for you?
Really busy. We haven't talked about what's happened at the store at all, have we?
I don't think so.
Oh. Well, I'm a lot more involved in the kids section than I ever have been before. So I'm doing a lot more with that, and it's great, and we're kind of like revamping a lot of the stuff and changing a lot of the stuff. So it's been very, very busy, and very draining, but very fulfilling. So I've been sleeping a lot because I've just been so tired, like physically and mentally, from work every day.
And she's been waking up at 5 a.m. with me every day to take me to the train station and stuff.
I have been.
After I do the gym and stuff.
Yeah. I feel like I've been pretty productive recently. We're trying to finish getting the house cleaned up because it's still not totally clean from Disney. So that's going to be one of my goals for the day, is to finish cleaning the freaking house. And I've been reading a lot again, which is great. I also am on a mission to find jeans that are high-waisted enough that my underwear doesn't show. And it's really hard because it always like gapes in the back. I always have a lot of extra room at the back of my pants, and it's always like pulls down and is too low because I have a larger butt. So yesterday we went and we bought 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another pair, 5 pairs of jeans. And it's like, it's so hard trying them on like just in the dressing room, because you're trying on like 20 different pairs because you have no idea what fits, what's gonna work. And then after you try on all of them, then you know like, oh, well, these ones were the best, but then like you have to try them on again and compare and all this stuff. So I ended up buying some, and I'm like, I want to take them home, I want to style them, I want to see how they work for me. I'm wearing this pair right now, which is the only pair out of all the pairs yesterday that doesn't show my underwear. Like, it's a huge struggle for me. So this is my first pair. It's like Wild Fable from Target, the high-waisted mom jeans. And then I also ended up buying a pair from Target as well that's universal thread in the high-rise jeggings that are short. These are a size 8, and then these are a size 10. So I guess that's about where I'm fluctuating between, because then these two that I bought from American Eagle are also size 8s. But then I bought another pair that was a size 10. So I guess that's about where I am right now. I don't think these ones are perfect for me. I think they are too gapey in the back, but I want to try them again with like a fresh lens, because I got very, very frustrated and upset yesterday after trying on like 30 pairs of jeans. I just kind of lost it and had like a meltdown. And I had to remember, there's this girl that I watch on YouTube. There's a couple different girls that I've been watching that are like super body positive and awesome. So like one of them is like Sierra Schultze, and then one of them is like Carrie Dayton. something like that. Anyway, if you type in Carrie, I'm sure it will pop up on YouTube because she does like a lot of things, and she always says this thing, it's not you, it's the clothes. Like, it's the clothes' fault that they're not fitting you, it's not your fault. And like, I really have to like remember that because like it's so frustrating because I've never found a pair of jeans. This is the first pair of jeans that I've ever tried on my entire life that don't massively gape at the back and show my underwear. The first pair. I'm 24. That's absurd. Companies just don't make very like curvy accessible clothing. And it's very, very frustrating. So I'm gonna go out today. I'm gonna return at least one of the pairs that I bought that I went and I tried on at home again this morning, and I for sure don't like them. So I'm gonna return those, and I'm gonna look around and try on a few more pairs, and I would like to own like 3 or 4 pairs of jeans that actually fit my body. So that's my goal for the day. I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go to the mall, and I'm gonna go to Target again and see what I can do. I'm probably gonna end up returning both the pairs of American Eagle jeans because like they're not perfect, and like as long as I'm buying like not perfect for me pairs of jeans, I'd rather spend like $20 rather than 50, you know? And they're the curvy ones, they're the high-waisted curvy skinny jeans, and they're not high-waisted enough, and they still gape in the back, so they're not curvy enough either.
Another thing I wanted to mention that I was just reminded because Giselle was talking about her jeans is while she was trying on jeans yesterday at the mall, I dropped her off there and I went to the movies and I saw Joker for the second time. I went and saw it Thursday as well, the opening night, and I really liked it. I have some mixed feelings about some of the things about it, but overall, well, I'll just start with like the directing and the cinematography. They're both really, really good. Those aspects of it were very like confident. You could tell what they wanted to do with the cinematography, especially, and I really like what they did with it. Just all the production design and cinematography together, just really nice. The directing was really good, and Joaquin Phoenix was extraordinary. And I think one of the main reasons why I like the movie is because of how freaking good he is. It's kind of impossible in my mind to separate him from the movie itself. Like, he is the movie, and I don't think it would have worked without him. And I think him mixed with the direction really, really worked very well. And he was just incredible, completely and totally incredible, and was completely lost entirely into the role, and so good. My only issue with the movie really was like the writing. It was very hit or miss. There are some aspects of it that were really good, actually. Some ways in which they told the story, like when they were focusing on telling his story and like letting it be a natural telling of who he is, and letting the character be himself, and I don't know, it's hard to explain because there are certain moments where they're like sitting down and having like little conversations, or he's like having this one-sided conversation with someone where he just like says these like kind of cringy one-liners, and like there's certain things in the writing that just made me cringe, like they were just trying too hard and were too on the nose and just being a little bit over the top, I guess, when they could have been more subtle. But there were actually some pretty subtle moments in the movie as well that I think I wish they had done more of that. I think a lot of the problems in the movie that are there come from the way it was written. And as far as it goes, though, Joaquin Phoenix did incredible with what he was given, and I think he just took it to a whole nother level and did a fantastic job. And I was really, really happy to see that, because he's one of my favorite actors. I've really liked him a lot for a long time. I mean, he's been in some of my favorite movies, and yeah, I was really happy with how I felt about it overall. I'm excited to see. I really hope he shows up again. I really hope that the Robert Pattinson Batman movie is really, really good, and that they put him and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker together. I think it could work so well if done right. So I know this is supposed to be like a one-off kind of thing, but I do really hope he shows up again in the future. It is like another full week later now, and it's been a whole another week of working in Boston, and let me talk about it for a second. It felt like another very long week. It was okay, I'm getting more used to it, and I read 3 books this week, and that's pretty cool. I guess I What did I read 3 books? I read at least 2, and I think I started a 3rd one. Whatever. I read a lot. I read about 100 pages a day again, maybe a little bit more than that this time actually, for 5 days straight, which is awesome. That's a really good sign. That is like the best thing about having this new commute, is having the time, giving myself that time to read, knowing that I get through at least like 100 pages a day in a book. That's pretty cool. And like I said, I'm getting more used to being there, and it'll become routine as time goes on. I mean, it's only the second week over now, and it is what it is. And I'm getting more used to it, so it's fine. We'll see how the weeks continue to go on. And I'll let you know when it like really starts to feel normal. It doesn't feel necessarily normal yet, but I am getting used to it. But today is Saturday, and Giselle and I took her with me to today they were doing like a pick party at the studio. If you've been following these vlogs for a long time, the original studio that I had this job at, it's the same job, it's the same company, but the original studio that I originally was working at did the donation pile, and we got a lot of this stuff in this apartment when we moved here, and a lot of stuff in our old apartment, I guess. But when we moved here, we got a lot of stuff that was just kind of like furnishing the place with the donation pile. It was all free stuff. And then they started doing pick parties at the new studio, where they did like 3 rounds, and everybody's name was like randomized on a list, and they called you out, and you can like go put your name on something and you could take it. And sometimes they did free for alls, like last year or the year before that, I think it was last year, they did like this whole trailer filled with Christmas stuff, and that was a free for all, and you can just go put your name on stuff. And I got a ton of awesome Christmas stuff, and I did that. I showed you all the Christmas stuff that we put out last year in a vlog, and yeah, I'm really excited about all that Christmas stuff still. I'm really excited to put it out this year. This time, they did a pick party, not just for the studio, since the studio is a little bit, like, it's all freelance people for the most part. There's only a few people now that work there all the time, and now that we're gone especially. So the whole imagery department, including all 3D people, all the people that work in Boston, it's like 200-something people. About 80 people RSVP'd, including me, and I don't know if all those people showed up, but there was a lot of people there today. But my boss's new boss, he just came over from California. I think I've mentioned him before. He worked at Marvel, and he was a post-production supervisor for a lot of special effects for Marvel movies and other movies and stuff. And he is now my boss's boss, and he made Brazilian barbecue for everybody, which is really good. I took some video of the when we were there. I didn't get video of the pick party happening, but I did get some video of it when it was kind of empty of people. Everybody was out eating, and I got a little bit of video of the food as well. It was really good food, and we ate some of that, and we got a lot of stuff. We were put on a list, randomized for 3 rounds, so everybody can get, everybody has a guaranteed like 3 items that they will hopefully get that they really like, and then after that it was just kind of a free-for-all. And you could just take whatever you wanted, because they had so much stuff. And even after the 3 rounds, there was still so much stuff left. So we took quite a bit back home with us. think that's where I'm going to end this one, though, because, this has gone on for a couple weeks now, and I don't even remember what else is in this vlog, but it's probably kind of long at this point. I'm keeping on working on the Disney vlogs. I have not finished them yet. They're taking me quite a while because they're very editing intensive, but I want them to be perfect. Like last night, I was working on one. It took me like a full hour just to find the music that I wanted to use over this one part. It was like this 4-minute section that took me like an hour to do because I was just not having it. But I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you very soon with more.